Okay. Got another group to come and check out the applications for. This time I went out and actually found some myself and managed to find a group of, I think it was 6 people. 3 women, 2, not 2 men, 3 women, 3 men. So that's pretty interesting, I suppose we can see. And then, the other recruiters found the others. So, okay. Let's come and see who we got then. We got a family, which is nice, another family. The group of 6 that I found, and then there's another guy there. Okay. Fair enough. Right, so let's read their applications, I guess. Hey! You brought a group of 6 survivors, I see. And the other 4. That's less than last time. It is, yes. To be honest, I think it's getting more scarce, or less and less likely to find other survivors, you know, I mean, we've got a fair amount of people here already, so, you know, most people nowadays are walkers, so the numbers are getting less and less, but hopefully at some point the numbers will pick up again and we'll start finding more people, but you gotta remember there are other communities out there that are also finding people, so, you know, this, I guess we'll just have to see, won't we? We'll keep going until eventually we don't find any more people at all, you know? And then even then we'll still keep going, because then there's the off chance you might find 1 or 2 people, you know? Because you might just miss them if you don't go out, but yeah, it's definitely less than last time, but let's get reading the applications, I guess. Okay, let's take a look at who we got this time. I believe the leader of that group of 6 there is that woman there with the bluey black hair named Brianna, I believe her name is. Okay, let's see. Okay. We've got 4 books this time compared to the how many last time? Compared to the 7 last time. Okay. Whew, okay. Let's get reading then. Okay. Full name, Brianna Hodges. There we go, that's the woman. Okay. Birth date, 13th of August, 1996. Okay. Job before military personnel. Interesting. Another soldier. Likes fighting, guns, and wrestling. Okay. Dislikes losing, failing, and losing people. Okay. Not what's normally put. Normally walkers or aces or saviors or something like that, but okay, let's see. Medical conditions, none. Number walkers killed, not enough. Okay, number humans killed, over 10 dozen. It's quite interesting because it says number walkers killed, and people seem to keep putting not enough or too many, or you know, they're not given like an actual number, but I suppose people aren't really keeping count, are they? I suppose so. It does kind of make sense. So, why you killed them? Rioters at the beginning, psychos, generally bad people, and bandits. Okay, interesting. Rioters at the beginning, so I suppose that was when she was sent out on orders or something, I guess. Any parts with aces, saviors, or other? None. Anything you'd like to take part in? Guarding the walls. Okay, I suppose we could always use more guards. Now, time for the history, okay. Now to get a little bit of her backstory, so let's see. Okay, right at the very start, I was ordered to guard the streets with my unit. I did so and was told to kill many people who were rioting, killing and injuring others while doing so. Okay, so the rioters were hurting other people. I, of course, didn't argue my orders and did so. Okay. I walked the streets until it was dark out, gradually killing any walkers we saw, although at that point I didn't know what they were. Eventually too many were about, we could no longer hold them off, and we were called back. My general sent us word saying a camp for civilians had been set up a 20-minute walk away, so I headed there alongside my unit, who most of them are gone now except for Lindsay. Okay, Lindsay, I believe they mentioned that Lindsay is the woman sat next to her with the brown hair. Okay. Happened on our way there. Walkers overpowered us and killed more of the people. We kept moving and brought as many civilians with us as we could find. Anyone we found who wasn't rioting was saved and brought along. Eventually we made it to the camp with about 10 people, not including Lindsay and I. 4 of those 10 are here with us. Pat, Logan, it's either Lewis or Louis, one of the two, and Mitch. Quick story short, the camp fell. There's no point writing the details, it was just walkers. Then I decided to head to the military base I was set at before being sent out. I brought a group of 12 with me, this time including Lindsay and I. Only 6 of us made it here, so half of the original group. We stayed at that base for the past few years. Had a few frequent threats from people who wanted our supplies. Luckily I taught everyone to shoot and we handled all the threats. But no matter how well we could all shoot, we were no match for a herd of over 1,000 walkers. There's a herd of 1,000 walkers out there. That's a scary thought. This was a few weeks ago, and lucky enough we all made it out alive. I forgot to mention that the other 6 died over the past few years, so yeah. Anyway, I'm sure once the herd is gone, we could take someone back there and search for any surviving supplies, as there was a lot. Then that way we can bring what we find back here to help better this community. I suppose that's something worth thinking about. Heading over to their old base to check it for supplies could be interesting. Okay. Full name, Lindsay Miller. Birth date, 28th of May 1996. Job before military personnel. Likes guns, hunting and crafting. Dislikes losing people. Medical conditions, none. Number walkers killed, over 200. Number humans killed, a few dozen. Why you killed them, orders and infiltrators. Interesting. I think I'm going to start to speed through these because I've got other things to be doing today. Any past with Ace the Saviors or other? None. Anything you'd like to take part in protecting the people? So probably once again being with Brianna on the wall, most likely. History all written in Brianna Hodges. Okay. Full name, Tricia Coleman. Birth date, 7th of September 1999. Okay. Job before, none. So, student. Likes parkour, running, and exercise. Possible supply runner here, then. Dislikes silence and boredom. So, yeah, definitely. Definitely a possible supply runner here, which could be interesting. Medical conditions, none. Number walkers killed, around 500. Number humans killed, around 100. I see, it's a fair amount of people. Why you killed them? Protecting my friends. Okay. Any past with Ace the Saviors or other? Nope. Anything you'd like to take part in? Anything to do with parkour or running? So yes, definitely supply running most likely. History. Okay, here we go. I was at school when the walkers came around. My school quickly became overrun, but luckily not many people got killed. They're most likely dead now, but that's irrelevant. Everyone screamed and ran. I did the same, but when I got chased by walkers, I climbed up a building. Everyone else got cornered. You see, at the school I went to, there was a main yard surrounded by a wire fence. This was to stop kids from leaving school when they weren't meant to. It didn't work. But anyway, the fence worked this time. It kept the people in. They survived the building being overrun, but not the schoolyard. As I said, I climbed the building. I tried lifting as many people up as possible, but I could only pull up so many so fast. I ended up saving about 12 people and having to watch over 3 dozen get eaten alive. Wow, that's a hard one. Saving the 12 ended up being a waste of time because I found them dead once I climbed down the other side of the building. Okay, after seeing the number of walkers around, I decided to hide in one of the school buses. I stayed there until they'd all gone, which wasn't until dark. I was debating whether or not to head out or stay there till morning. Luckily for me, I decided to head out and found Brianna and Lindsay with a group of other people. The rest of my history is all listed in Brianna's, except for the part where Louis or Lewis and I got together. Okay then. Here we go. Full name, Louis Douglas, or Lewis Douglas. I don't know. I feel like in the UK, it's Louis. But then here it's Lewis, so I suppose it's Lewis, right? Lewis Douglas, we'll go with that. Lewis Douglas. Birth date, 29th of December, 1999. Interesting. Job before, none. also a student. Likes cooking and being alive. That's interesting. A chef. I don't think we've actually got many people here that are chefs. I mean, we've got Arla with her, I can't remember what she named her business, actually. I think it was something like Warm Delights or something. Don't know, but either way, we've got her, and then the Rob Gavin, can actually make a pretty nice cake, which is interesting, but anyway, not the point. Dislikes walkers, raiders, burnt food. I suppose that makes sense that a chef doesn't like burnt food. Medical conditions, none. Number of walkers killed, nowhere near enough. Not gonna lie, I kind of like that answer. Number of humans killed, 241, so he kept count. Why you killed them? To protect the base from raiders and intruders, and to protect Pat, which I'm guessing is Patricia, his girlfriend, I believe they mentioned, right? Any past with aces, saviors, or other? No, none. Do you think you'd like to take part in cooking? Yeah, that's not a problem. History, I was also at school when the apocalypse started. Not the same one as Pat, though, although I wish I had met her sooner and under better circumstances. Guess it's kind of a good thing that people are finding other people in this world that they can connect with, you know? Okay, my school was pretty empty when everything began. Parents were keeping their children off because of the flu going around. I actually remember reports of that. There was maybe 30 people still at the school, including teachers. So when the first walkers came around, it was easy enough to get away. My parents sent me to school even though they knew about the flu, and when I got back, my family was dead and had turned, all except for my little brother. He made it but was trapped in his bedroom with our mum and dad outside the door trying to kill him. Luckily I heard screaming and managed to get to his bedroom window, where he climbed out towards me. We ran as far as we could and kept going until we found Brianna with a group of people. Lindsay, Pat, Logan and Mitch included. Everything after we found Brianna is in her application, except for the fact that raiders broke into the base and killed my brother. Wow. Killed some of our other people too. After that, we made a strict rule about raiders and trespassers. Okay. So, got a lot of people that have lost quite a lot by the sounds of it. But, okay, here we go. Here's the other people. Full name, Logan Sanderson. Birth date, 7th of February, 1993. Job before, a lumberjack. Bobby's gonna like this guy. Likes construction and art. Dislikes walkers, raiders, and fire. I suppose that makes sense, because he was a lumberjack, worked with wood. I like how it says he likes art, so I'm wondering if he made, like, wooden sculptures or little wooden statuettes or something. I don't know. I suppose I could ask him later, but could probably make a business out of that. I'm sure people would happily buy wooden sculptures. I mean, I would. You know, that'd be interesting. Medical conditions, none. Number of walkers killed, at least 400. Number of humans killed, too many, at least 200 plus. Let's see, why you kill them? To protect my friends seems to be the answer for most of these people. Any parts with aces, saviors, or other? I don't know what any of those are, so no. Do bandits count? If so, yes. Suppose they specify, or they go under the caption other, so I guess that makes sense. Anything you'd like to take part in? I'd enjoy being a lumberjack again, if you have any need for that anyway, and we do. Bobby is actually working on a new shop, where he's gonna be selling timber and working on timber and stuff like that, so I suppose it would help for him to have a partner in that. So yeah, that could definitely work. Okay, history, here we go. At the start, I had no idea what was going on. I was working at the time, and the timber machines were running, so I couldn't hear anything going on outside. Not even the screaming of people getting eaten. Well, that's harsh. I was cutting some wood with headphones on when I started to smell burning. I turned around and the entire shop was on fire. Wow, no wonder he doesn't like fire. Turns out rioters had chucked Molotovs into the windows. Wood and fire obviously doesn't mix, so the place went up into flames. Luckily for me, Brianna and Lindsay saw the rioters and killed them, then came in and saved me from the fire. They brought me with them to their camp, and I've been with them ever since. The rest of what happened is already written in Brianna's application. Okay, fair enough. That one's quite short. I quite like that. Okay, here we go. This is the last guy, Mitch Barlow. Okay, birthday, 12th of October 2004. Quite young, younger than me. Job before, none. Likes living, dislikes death. Fair enough, straight to the point. Medical conditions, none. Number walkers killed, 2,639. More to be done. It's quite a high number. I think I must have killed around that too, to be fair. Don't think I haven't kept track of how many walkers I've killed. Kept track of how many humans, but not walkers. So mine is way up by now, but number of humans killed 311. Interesting. I've killed more than him, which is scary to say that I've killed more than 300 human lives. But anyway, why you killed them? I had no choice but to protect my friends from raiders and trespassers. Okay, same sort of thing. Any parts with savior, aces, saviors, or other. Raiders count as other, I suppose. They do. Anything you'd like to take part in? Anything I have to. Fair answer. History. Before the apocalypse, I had no home. Okay, this is interesting. I had been living on the streets since I was a young boy. Can't remember a time when I wasn't on the streets. Always cold, always ill, always hungry. In a weird way, the apocalypse was the best thing to happen to me. Worst thing to pretty much everyone else, but this world was an upgrade to how I was living before it. Honestly, I'd never actually thought about it in that way. I suppose people that were homeless before, you know, this kind of thing, I mean, the apocalypse, being able to get any food they want, any water they want, any medication they need, I suppose in a way for them, it was a dream come true, you know? They get to actually live a life that isn't on the street. Well, it's technically kind of still was, but I can see how it would be a better life than living on the streets anyway. But I had food, I was warm, I wasn't ill. I could take whatever I needed, and it was amazing. Once again, like I said, people helped me for the first time in my life. That's actually a really sad thing to say, especially considering he's a kid. Well, I say kid, young man, I suppose is better, because I don't like being called a kid, so I can agree with that. I was lucky enough to come across Brianna and the group she had with her, including Lindsay, Pat, Logan, and Lewis. They were all headed to a safe camp not too far away, and I went with them. They're my family now, the only one I've ever had. After that point has been written in Brianna's notes. Okay, I thought there was going to be something else, but apparently not. We also noticed that it said that he went with Brianna after Lewis was with them, but in Lewis's it said that Mitch was already with them, so I suppose maybe maybe one of the two wrote it wrong, I'm not too sure, but either way, it doesn't really matter, we've got the details now anyway. So who's this one? Okay, full name Jessica Collier, okay, birth date 19th of March 1983, job before stay-at-home mom, okay, that must be the woman with her son and daughter. Likes farming, nature, art, construction, and animals. Interesting. Dislikes walkers, politics, and getting hurt. Okay. I don't think anyone's actually spoke about politics in a long time. I don't think I've even seen the word for a long time either. But fair enough, okay. None, but I have one arm. I suppose that kind of counts as a medical condition, so guess so. I didn't even notice that she had one arm, to be fair. I suppose I'll notice later, but number walkers killed 4,982. Whoa. That is a lot. Probably even more than me, but okay. Number humans killed 37. Also keeping track why you killed him. Not happy about having to do it, but I had to protect my children. Honestly, I'm surprised when people haven't killed anyone, you know, but let's continue. Any parts with aces, saviors, or other? Aces, yes. They attacked us once and I had to kill them, not without getting hurt. Interesting, I suppose that's saying that she had to kill them, but she got injured during. Maybe that's how she lost her arm, I suppose we'll find out. Okay, anything you'd like to take part in? Farming, building, planting flowers, adding some nature into the community maybe. That could be interesting. I mean, it also said she likes art, so maybe if she's good at it, we could get her painting some murals on the side of buildings or something. And the nature is definitely something that could be done. I mean, we could definitely use some wildlife in the communities. I mean, especially in Olympus, it's all grey, and the very few colours there are mostly from the outside of buildings, so it would be quite nice to have some flowers growing here and there, so I suppose she could definitely do that. Okay, history. My son and daughter were at school at the start. I didn't drive and I still don't, so it took me ages to get to them. First walker I found was in my front yard, just wandering around. I didn't kill it, I just ran past it. After 20 minutes of running, I finally got to the school. It's awful seeing all of those children walking around. Children I knew, my son and daughter's friends. I couldn't kill them. I just pushed my way through without killing them, and honestly, I have no idea how I didn't get bit. Neither do I, but, you know, let's continue. Either way, barely anyone survived, and those who did were trapped in classrooms. I found my son and daughter in a classroom with 2 dead bodies piled at the door. Turns out my son had killed 2 walkers to protect his sister. To be fair, that's quite sweet. I managed to get to them and get them home. On the way back, I realized I had to kill the walkers, and I did. Eventually, when we got back home, I boarded all doors, all windows. We waited for days for the military, and no one came. Interesting. We started to run out of food, so I decided the safest option was to grow some. We already had vegetable patches in our back garden, so we knew what to grow and how to grow it. We lived like this for all the years we've been surviving. We had a few bandits wanting what little we had, and I always took care of it. As for walkers, I set up somewhat moat in our front yard to stop walkers from coming too close to the house. Interesting idea, done that before. I went out every few days and killed the ones that fell in. I suppose she also went out every few days to get some supplies she needed too. Eventually, too many came and filled the pits. Climbed over one another and got to the house. They broke in and I got bit. That'd be how she lost her arm then. Luckily, I taught Jax and Joy, that must be her son and daughter, how to use guns, and we killed them all before they overran our house. After that, I decided it would be a safe idea to remove my arm. Dangerous, but maybe I would live. I did, but it wasn't easy. I had to put my trust in my 2 children while I healed from the dismemberment of my whole right arm. Had to cut from my armpit up to my shoulder. Can't explain how difficult those weeks were for us, but we made it through. And also, it's interesting, because if I put my hand under my arm and feel, I mean, there's bone there. So she would have had to saw through the... Ooh, okay, no, don't even want to get into that. I mean, it's weird to think about, I mean, that she had to do that, but yeah, I suppose, okay, never mind. I managed to make a new arm out of an old fire pit I had in my garden. Okay, creative. It had a long metal chimney kind of thing to let the smoke out. That's what I used. Okay, I think I kind of get a general idea of what she means. Sort of like a rounded, like, long pipe, I guess, but wide enough to be a hand, I guess. I don't know. I suppose that's what it is, but it needs work. Okay. It works, but it needs work still. Okay, yeah. Okay, I set up a mechanism that allows the fingers, or claws, to move when I pull on a string that's tied around my waist. I see, we've also used the same idea for Rick's arm. Okay, it allows me to hold things, and that's the main thing. Many weeks later was when the Aces attacked. They weren't trying to kill us, just take everything, which would have killed us. I couldn't let that happen, so I had to kill them. Actions have consequences, and they ended up throwing a grenade into our house, blowing up a lot of our belongings and setting fire to the rest. We gathered what we could and travelled, and have travelled since. Okay, yeah. Right, now here's the son. Full name, Jax Collier. Birthday, 8th of October, 2011, so the same age as Erica. Job before, none. Likes reading, sports and drawing. Dislikes monsters and blue men. Okay, aces in brackets. Interesting. Child calling them blue men. I suppose it's less scary to them, I guess, calling them there. Medical conditions, none. Number walkers killed, 23. Number humans killed, 0. Why you killed them, that's blanks. They haven't killed any. Aces, yes. They'd like to go to school. All in Jessica's, yes. Okay, full name, Joy Collier. 29th of June, 2013. So she's very young. Okay, job before, none, obviously. Likes drawing, flowers and animals. Dislikes monsters and blood. Blood probably comes from all the blood she's seen, and possibly even from when her mum had to remove her own arm. Medical conditions, none. Number of walkers killed, 12. She's even killed 12. And then the rest is blank. Aces, yes, like take part in school. And once again, the history is all listed in their mums. Okay. Right, so we've got some interesting people so far. And now on to this last guy that was sat on his own, so here goes nothing. Okay. Full name, Tiny Shannon. Birth date, 21st of September, 1998. Job before, college. So you went to college. Okay, likes sport, running, and movies. Dislikes losing, fire, and saviors. Okay, so this one's going to have something to do with the saviors. Let's see. None except for half a burnt body. Didn't notice that either. I mean, I suppose I did. I saw him from the side that wasn't burnt, so I suppose obviously didn't see that side, but okay. Number of walkers killed, thousands by now. Number of humans killed, 698. 2 away from 700 people. Wow. And he killed them because they were his orders and bandits, but he didn't say he was a soldier or anything, so I'm wondering how he was ordered to do that. Any pass with aces, saviors, or other? Yes, I was a savior. There we go, there are his orders, but this is going to be interesting. I suppose we don't need to worry about the saviors being threats because Dwight is leading them, but still doesn't make it any easier. I hope that doesn't ruin my chances. Might not. It's not going to ruin his chances, but if he does anything, he'll be straight out. But anything you'd like to take part in, guarding, building, and literally anything to earn my keep. Fair enough. Okay, here's his history. He wrote a lot, jeez, wow. The day it started, I was at university. I'll save the details, as it's obvious it got overrun, but a few friends and I managed to survive. We all stayed at the school in the gymnasium. We could only stay there for so long, and we knew that. During our escape, many of us fell to the hands and mouths of walkers. Eventually, we all went our own separate ways to find our families. I did the same, and luckily for me, my dad owned a shotgun, and I found him along with my mother and 2 sisters. Okay. We all lived and survived together for a long time. But our streak of luck soon ended when we came across a herd. My entire family got killed, and I single-handedly killed the remaining walkers. Strong, I see. That's when the saviors and Negan found me. Makes sense, they saw potential, I guess. They saw what I could do, and they decided they could use a big guy like me. I stayed with the saviors for a long time, killing lots of people for Negan, and it wasn't the worst life, honestly. I had a long run with those guys, but Negan messed with the wrong people. Interesting. Could be possible that he's talking about the war that we started with Negan, I guess. He killed some wrong people. Strong people. They didn't like their friends getting killed, and Negan knew that, so he took them captive. Interesting. Kept them on a boat and began transporting them. That's weird. I suppose Negan probably did that to multiple people, but he did that to me too. This, of course, didn't stop these people, and they found a way to trick Negan. Interesting. Made him think they could be trusted. Okay, that's getting weird. One kid in particular was let into the saviors. Excuse me? He ended up blowing up the ship with all the saviors on it. Well, that's me. I did that. I blew up a ship with saviors on it, and that's when we came to the city, which is where Faro is, or was, I guess. But he's talking about me, Rick, and our people. Okay, I don't know who this guy is. He got his friends onto another boat and sailed it away. Yeah, that's definitely us. Well, definitely me, anyway. After the explosion, I got badly burned. Okay, that's my fault. This isn't going to be good. I burnt this guy. And I knew Negan had a plan of escape. A submarine attached to the bottom of the ship, so that's how he got away. That's how he survived. It could fit maybe 7 people. He got into that unscathed along with a few other people. You see, I always wondered how he made it off of that boat, because technically, the entire boat blew up. he should have been killed with it, but obviously he didn't, and that explains why. Always had that question, now it's been answered. I went to him and begged him to let me in. He didn't. Instead, he sailed away, leaving me there to suffer from my burns, all while the ship was sinking. You have no idea how it feels to have salt water soak into melting flesh. Oh, I can't even begin to imagine. And the fact that I did this to this guy, still can't think of who this could be. My mind has gone completely blank. I just can't think of anyone that was on that ship that was like an important person that survived. I mean, maybe he wasn't an important person, but Tennille, I don't recognize that name. I don't remember a savior named Tennille. It terrifies me just thinking back on that awful time. I eventually passed out from the pain. I woke up in someone's bed. Wow. My burns were bandaged and weren't hurting as much as they were before. I was later told the burn cream had been applied to my skin. Either way, I woke up and heard a voice say, "About time." It was a woman. Interesting. I looked to see her sat in a chair opposite the bed. She didn't smile. She didn't smirk. She just looked, almost like she was reading me. No expression on her face. Out of nowhere, she asked for my name. So I told her, Tennille, but my friends call me Tiny. Wait. Tiny, that name is familiar. So I suppose I did know that. I can't pinpoint it. But I had to have been around the time. I've got to try and think. It's been so long since all of that happened. Got to try and think. Tiny. Can't actually remember. Wait. I'm trying to think. Was this? I remember the name Tiny as. Suppose I'll recognize him when I see his face, but I remember the name Tiny. I suppose that earned me a giggle. Makes sense because it is a funny name considering he's a big guy, but. That's weird. Tiny. Okay then. She thought it was funny that my nickname was Tiny, yet I was so big. It is funny. That's why I stuck with it. She introduced herself as Holly. We got talking and instantly clicked. I told her about everything I'd done and she wasn't scared. Didn't fear me or anything. Turns out she'd killed many people too. Only saved me because I wasn't in good enough shape to fight back. I stayed with her for many weeks until I was able to move again. I was going to leave, but she insisted I stayed, so this woman possibly changed him for the better. She lived on a farm. We lived on a farm. Up until maybe a month ago, when we got attacked by a group of fiends. They killed her, but before they did, they captured us, tied us up and left us in the barn. She told me about a place, a big community that was safe, that was giving people hope. She was planning for me and her to go there. To this place. Together. We were going to pack up all of our supplies, animals, horses, and come here together. She was going to tell me the next day, but we got attacked before she could ask. We should have left sooner. At least that way we would have been here together, maybe had a life together with kids, a family. And it's not possible anymore. But I need to do this for her. It's what she wanted. And that's why I'm here. That's interesting. So, he met a woman that saved his life and then died, and that's why he's here to... in her memory, I guess. I see, and it's been another hour, I see. I think I'm just used to this at this point, I suppose. Anytime we bring new recruits, it's tend to take around half an hour or 45 minutes, I suppose, but I'm not complaining. We got some new people, but so that must be that's him. But let's see. Okay, if I remember rightly, Brianna, Lindsay, and Patricia. Fair enough. Might ask if I can call her Tricia because why not? And now we're going down here. I'm guessing that's Logan because he's got a beard and he's older. Guessing that's Lewis because he looks younger and around the same age as Tricia. And then I'm guessing the guy on the end is Mitch. I also noticed that he has a ponytail. So whether he's been growing that since he was been on the streets, I'm not too sure, but I think we'll go to Neil last. I think we're going to go over to this family first. I already introduced myself to those guys, so they know my name, so I don't need to introduce myself to them again, but I need to introduce myself to these guys, so let's go ahead. Hair. Oh, yeah, I see, interesting. Hi there. I see that your name is Jessica Collier. Jessie, for short, right? Okay, good to know. So, your name is Jessie Collier. My name is Ryan Forrester. I am part of the council here. I handle interactions between people and making sure that everyone is getting on well here and settling in. That's what I do here, so that's why I'm speaking to you now. I'm glad to see that your son and daughter are with you, and I'll be giving you a tour in a bit, and I hope that this place can be the start to a brand new life for you and your family. Okay? And if you have any questions or if you need anything, just simply ask me. Okay? I'm around 24/7 pretty much, except for night times because I have got a little girl to look after, not my daughter, but she might as well be. I care for her like she is, so yeah. So if you, like I said, if you need anything or have any questions, just call me and I'll be glad to help. Okay. Right. So now I've introduced myself to them. Next thing is Tiny. I guess I'm hoping that his face is gonna remind me, but oh. As soon as I saw his face, I instantly recognized him. When I was at the house Negan was staying at, where my friends were held in the barn and I had to make him escape, where I met Martin, I remember now. He was stood there, he was the general in charge, and I remember him on that night that Negan killed our friends. I remember him stood there, he always wore the cap. I remember now. That's who this guy is, and I did burn him on that boat. Okay. Hi there. Neil. Tiny. It's nice to meet you again. My name is Ryan Forrester. You may or may not recognize me. I have changed a fair amount since you would have last seen me. I was a lot smaller back then. I was a lot younger back then. You'll remember me as Ryan, obviously, and I am the guy who snuck into Negan's ranks and pretended to be him, or pretended to be a savior. I am the guy that blew up that boat and gave you those burns, and I understand if you'd be angry, but you have to understand how bad the saviors are. I mean, you understood how they left you behind, and I am sorry for all the pain you went through, but I mean, at the time I had to get my friends out. I mean, you were killing them, you were torturing them, you know, I mean, I had to get them out there, and I'm sure you could understand that, but as you can see, years haven't been kind to me either. I'm sorry about, your woman, or your lady friend, Holly. I mean, that's what you said her name was. I'm sorry about what happened to her, and that she was killed. I wish she would have been here too, you know, to see this place and what it is, and so that you could have had a life together, but you can still have a life here, and I'm going to be giving you a tour, and I hope that we can leave the past in the past and move on to a new future, and hopefully this place can be exactly that for you.